Hey everybody, I'm back. Hope your Monday is a good one. This is a review of a company I am warning you not to do business with. Do not order oxygen machines from Oxygen to Go. Here's why. I'm reading from a prepared text, which is also the text of this video blog and will be on the blogs of Oakland News Now. Well, the blogs of Zenny 62 Media, Oakland News Now, blog.com, oaklandnewsonline.com, and the others that are within the network of 100 blogs that we own and run. But I digress. Here is the statement that I'm about to read to you right now. Oxygen to Go of Jackson, Wyoming. Don't order from them. Don't order oxygen machines from them. In the view of this video blogger and air traveler, if you need to take oxygen on a flight, don't even consider renting it from the firm called Oxygen to Go and based out of Jackson, Wyoming. Here's why. And based on not just my recent horror story I'm about to tell you, but the words of unhappy customers who posted their stories on the website of the Better Business Bureau. Here's an example. I submitted an application for a portable oxygen, which Delta works with. I never sent a prescription, and the order was canceled within 1 hour of submitting because the amount they requested and withdrew from my account was $750. We were never told what the price was prior to being charged or seeing the prescription. Oxygen to Go is now keeping 65% of my money. We canceled the order after 45 minutes with no prescription complete. And we weren't told what the price was, and it was just processed without any warning. Here's another example. Oxygen to Go has extremely unethical business practices. After being instructed to fill out an online, quote, request form, unquote, in order to obtain pricing, we received a phone call from a rep. That rep explained to us, only after we asked, that they do not accept any form of insurance. He then proceeded to explain exorbitant pricing for their rental services and tried to strong arm us into a, quote, minimum, unquote, 2-week rental period for $600. After we declined that service and hung up with a rep, we received 4 follow-up calls within 2 hours, which we were unable to answer as we were in an appointment. The following day, we noticed a $150 charge on our credit card, a prerequisite on the request form to receive a detailed quote. When we called to request a refund, we were told by a belligerent manager that charge was a non-refundable processing fee for canceling service, a service we never authorized in the first place. This company needs to be investigated for their shady practices. Then, of course, there's my story, really my mother's story. In our case, Oxygen to Go misrepresented its travel allowances, failed to offer proper instructions, and bent over backwards to charge us for its errors. If you never used a travel oxygen machine, then Oxygen to Go is not going to provide you with proper instructions. Here's an example. First, they send you a machine, a big black box, but there's no paper telling you how not to pack it for a trip. Note I said how not to pack it. Chances are you're upset about the illness of your loved one who needs oxygen and will not consider such matters as the TSA, Transportation Services Administration, or the particular airline you're traveling on. So the tag that comes with Oxygen to Go and claims that the device and luggage are, quote, FAA approved, unquote, can fool you as it did me. When I see FAA approved, I assume that includes the TSA too. Well, it does not. First, the device arrived at the hospital, but they didn't even know it was there. I had to tell them. That was another horror story. Then we got to the Las Vegas airport and then checked the big case, and then we're wheelchaired to the gate. While that was going on, something else was going on. By the time my mom and I were in line to board the plane, a TSA supervisor came up and told us, quote, You can't fly with the oxygen machine, unquote. I said, Mom has to get home or she will die. So we got on the flight with a machine, but the TSA left the case behind. Why? They claim lithium batteries can't be placed in the cargo hold of the plane. That's not something Oxygen to Go either told us or wrote to us. No warning. Remember, the tag said it was FAA approved, right? Well, that's a joke. We had no specific instructions referring to travel on United Airlines. On top of that, United Airlines regulations say, quote, you can pack personal devices that have lithium batteries of less, get this, less than 100 hours in your checked and carry-on bags. However, we do not allow devices like e-cigarettes, personal vaporizers, or power banks, including those installed in smart bags and checked bags. The Oxygen to Go machine had far less than 100 watt hours, had 3 hours. Anyway, the machine was left in the hands of United Airlines, but a baggage clerk in Las Vegas decided to act as her own judge and jury. So I called Las Vegas airport police after we returned home. Still, even with that organization's help, what happened to the case is not known to me, but it is known to someone at United. Oxygen to Go could have filed an insurance claim against the loss, especially since it was their lack of instruction that caused the problem. Instead, Oxygen to Go tried to stick a $500 cost on us. Not happening. Plus, I sent the machine back. If Oxygen to Go was an honest organization, they would have eaten the cost and made our horrible trip better. But Oxygen to Go doesn't care about customers, even though they're dealing with life and death issues. Oxygen to Go is not a good organization at all, folks. Just not. It's no wonder it has over 42 bad reviews on the website Pissed Consumer. I got the link right here. And it is rated 1.3 stars out of 5. Avoid Oxygen to Go like the plague. I mean, folks, they insist on being shady, okay? They don't try to meet halfway with you. They don't consider the fact that in my case, my mom, as it turned out, really didn't need the oxygen, but we didn't know. She had oxygen at the hospital. So the hospital assumed, and so we were led to believe that she would need the hospital traveling. And I was not about to put my mother in a situation where I could lose her yet again. Okay? So I'm operating out of fear. It's just pure fear. All right? And so you would think that Oxygen to Go would ease your pain by having a detailed set of readable instructions that include, hey, look, don't check the case, right? Don't check it. Instead, and then I check it. Not only that, the airport people don't know it because guess what? They let me check it. All right? And then the TSA people didn't know about the limit regarding the 100 watts, it was less than that, or United's regulations. And then guess what? Oxygen to Go didn't have a list of what to expect from each airline. For as much business as they do in the travel industry, you would think that Oxygen to Go would have just that basic level of respect for the customer, right? Instead, I can read you litany after litany after litany of bad reviews. I don't even have to cherry pick them, okay? I don't, okay, at all, okay? At all. All right. Vicky Alvarez says, why would you give out card number before knowing cost, like the complaint you read said? Vicky, I can't deal with their complaints, okay? That's their experience. All I'm saying, very simply, is this, that there are 42 complaints about this organization that are out there. 42. Okay. Actually, more than that. Now, 44. I take it back. There's 44 on Pissed Off Consumer. Have doubts? I can remove those doubts for you in a second, just like this. All I have to do is share the screen here, push the button, And as they would say, voila, bam, here it is. Oxygen to go, reviews and complaints. And on this left, and I'll enlarge it. Okay, I'll zoom in. All right. And I will zoom in again here. Okay. And then I will zoom in yet again and zoom in yet again. All right. Oxygen to go was first mentioned on the Pissed Off Consumer on October 2nd, 2010. And since then, the brand has received 44 reviews. Oxygen to go ranks 67 of 253 in transport category. The overall rating of the company is 1.3, and consumers are mostly dissatisfied. Recent recommendations regarding this business are as follows. Stay away from the company. Would not recommend. If you like having your money back and basically your life taken, this is the bank. Okay, and then it goes on. All right. That's it says reviewers write the most about Oxygen to go concentrator rental and give it 1.8 stars out of 5. All right. And if you go over to the reviews, there are other ones like for example, 10th of October 2021. Never gotten real funds and it's been 2 months. I was supposed to get 2 refunds, and then they say in there other reviews are all over the place and quite extensive. They give all kinds of bad reviews. 1.5, 1 star out of 5 for website, 1 star out of 5 for number of destinations, 1 star out of 5 for level of comfort, and so on, and so on. And they keep just building up. They keep just building up. But what I'm concerned about is my complaint, not somebody else's, and I'm talking about mine. And my complaint was based on the fact that Oxygen to go. Oh, and Vicky says, how did you find this scam company you referred to? Very easy. The basic situation was that my mother, we were at Las Vegas. I was credentialed. If you follow my video blog, I was credentialed to cover the NFL draft for the 18th year in a row. And my mom, whose late husband and her have gambled at Bally's for something like the last 20 years, 30 years, wanted to go, get out of the house. She's 87. We've been stuck here because of the pandemic. And was only too happy to have her along. I've had her with me at CES Las Vegas as recently as 2020, staying at Bally's, and nothing happened. But on the Tuesday after the draft was over, Mom wanted to take a one last pull at the slots. And I believe what happened was that she got secondhand smoke in her system. That on top of the fact she was tired. We've dealt with an awful situation coming. We had 2 flight cancellations. She was worn. And that led the perfect storm of her having a cold. Plus the hotel rooms are colder than the average of 77 degrees we have in the house here. And it was at 65. And so that produced mucus, which consistently built up in her system. I kept saying, spit it out. But then it built up, and it was exacerbated by pneumonia that was produced. And that happened from that Wednesday. On Thursday, got really bad. And that Friday morning, she said, I'm going to die. And I said, Mom, you're not going to die today. So I called the hotel EMT. The hotel EMT came up, said, your blood oxygen is at 82%, which is not good. It's supposed to be at the minimum at 92. Okay. So we got her to Elite Medical Center, which is behind the hotel. And then they proceeded to pump the mucus out of Mom's system, give her antibiotics, did a COVID test first, then it was transferred to Valley Medical. And so to make a long story short there, by the Wednesday that Mom was discharged, that Monday, they talked about an oxygen machine, and it was the hospital that led us to call Oxygen to go. Okay. And so that's how, to answer your question, we were led to contact Oxygen to Go. And that's why I'm telling other people, because there are other businesses to work with, but they have contracts with hospitals at various locations around the United States. And they have on their case this tag that says FAA approved. And so my point is that they give you fake comfort at a time when you need real comfort. They're not providing real comfort. So you think that everything is done right. And not only that, you have to be aware that each airline has its own policies regarding how to work with oxygen machines. Okay. And so, Vicky, all that's passed. Okay. So you're making assumptions. Well, we're in something called the assumptive society, right? People make assumptions. It's a good idea to read the text. It really is. So it's a very good idea to read the text. And the bottom line is that this is something that happened past. Now they're trying to charge us with $500 because they can't locate their own case. All right. And that's not something they should be doing. The loss of that case came because the TSA would not allow us to travel. We didn't know that. So Oxygen to Go is asking us, and would be asking you, to pay for something that you didn't know about. Okay. That you didn't know you were going to be in that situation. And they essentially put you in that situation. And yet you had the machine, which we didn't use. Mom turned out, as soon as she got on the plane and got back, her blood oxygen went up to 96, and now it's between 98 and 99. It's pretty good. But my point is that, considering the number of times that Oxygen to Go ostensibly rents out this machine, they know these scenarios. They know what will come up. They know how a passenger should be treated on a flight and how to instruct the passenger, but they don't do it. And it's clear to me why they don't in retrospect, because then they can just stick you with an extra bill. That's what they try to do. Most people, like, for example, Bally's in this situation, they knew we had an extra week of hotel costs. And so worked with me, and still working with me, to make sure that the comp week that they said I had was indeed just that, which is what I really appreciate from Bally's. You think that Oxygen to Go would give us any consideration? No, absolutely not. None. Why do you want to deal with an organization like that? Okay. You don't. All right. You pull out, you just straight out simply don't want to do that. Okay. You don't want to do that at all. Don't want to do it. Okay. Don't want to do it. No. So do not use Oxygen to Go. Don't. If you want to be someone who wants to, take your life in your own hands, deal with an organization just because Zenny said don't use them, hey, be my guest and be a fool. But don't say I didn't warn you. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That is in this broadcast. I'll be back in a few minutes regarding the Deshaun Watson, Tony Busby situation. And then I'll be back at 5 o'clock again with my interview I'm looking forward to with Mike Jacob of the Pacific Marine Association.